Good afternoon. How are y'all doing today? Today's lesson is going to be looking at lab safety. So here we go. Lab safety. I will go ahead and start off with a short little video. Maybe. I'll be back after the video. Working in the lab and I'm thinking about safety. It's not so strong. Open your shoes out of here. Are you going crazy? It's so long. It's so long. My love, they make you take around. Chemicals, the chemicals. My love, sounds like your hair is crushed material. The material. One, the future said, you should be watching it be taken away. Don't mix it in until the label's checked again. Three, no food and drink. It's what happens when you get in the morning. And if you fall in, you will really feel it. I got that rule that tell them. Thank you so much for watching. The one Palabra we actually didn't include is that you probably should be dancing or running in the lab. If you want to catch a song. All right, so welcome back. Short little song about lab safety. There was a lot of stuff in there, and yes, he is correct. You shouldn't be dancing and moving around and doing all that in the lab. All right. First rule of lab safety: if in doubt, you need to ask. In other words, if you don't know what's going on, somebody in the classroom, which is going to be your teacher or your instructor, is going to know exactly what to do. And I almost guarantee that they probably already went over how to do something before you even started your lab. Second rule of lab safety is report any and all accidents immediately. So it doesn't matter if what happens, you need to make sure that even if you're horse playing, no matter what happens, you need to make sure you report that immediately so that way they can get the help that they need. All right, so here is a little setup, little laboratory setting, and you have several different things that are going on. Some important things to remember. Know the location of safety equipment. That would include a fire extinguisher, a fire blanket. Make sure you know where the safety equipment is. Eye wash station, the shower. Um, Leave experiments at home. In other words, don't bring things in that you're going to try to do. Right? Um, know what to do in case of an accident. First rule, or second rule, is that you need to make sure that you tell your instructor, your teacher. Dress appropriately. So in that song, tie your hair back, put your goggles on, make sure that you don't have your open-toed shoes on. You want to follow all instructions. Don't taste or sniff the chemicals. You need to waft the chemicals. That was also in that video. Don't eat or drink in the lab because you don't know what those chemicals are or what they could do. It could be something simple as giving you diarrhea, but it could also be something a lot worse than that, right? So just be careful. Don't eat or drink in the lab, and you want to dispose of waste properly. So those are some important things to remember. All right, so here's another short little video. Fire safety.
Right. So what the chemistry that is behind this little bit of magic is that we're going to soak the $20 bill, the $50 bill, $100 bill. The more monetary value it is, the bigger stock value. If you're a magician, you hide it, right? You don't show your audience there's a little bit of water in it. And what I'm going to do is soak the fill in there. And then I do have, I'm protecting my eyes with the glasses. I am, some people actually hold the 20. I'm going to use a set of palms so that my hand isn't so close to it. And so we have this $20 bill. It's been soaked in the alcohol and the water. And then you hold a flame to it, right? And up goes the $20 bill, so you think. Right? And it continues all of that. Give me 1 second. That didn't work.
Uh-oh. That was really funny. All right, so let's look at some fire safety. That kind of got out of hand, right? You can know all of the rules and you know how to be safe and what you should be doing. She was wearing her goggles. Her hair was short enough. She didn't need to tie it back. But she knew all the rules, and yet she still had an accident with that flame. So it's always important to know what to do in case something like that does occur. So some fire safety. Know where the nearest exit is. Know your escape plan. Make sure that you know how many people are in the classroom. Make sure you don't leave anybody behind. Again, know where your safety equipment is. That would include the fire extinguisher, especially for fire safety, and a fire blanket as well. Know how to treat burns as well. The nurse would do that for us. So let's move on to lab clothing, what to wear in the lab, or what not to wear in the lab. You can look at it from that point. Flip-flops are a bad idea. If you're dealing with glass or you're dealing with chemicals or anything that's heavy, if you're wearing flip-flops, that could hurt you. Sandals, flip-flops, kind of the same thing, right? Loose and baggy clothing. Headphones, if you have headphones in, I know a lot of people use the earpods now, but if you have the dangling headphones or you have shirts or something or hair that's long, necklaces, jewelry, all of those things could knock something over and cause your experiment to go wrong. So make sure you're aware of loose or baggy clothing, hair, any jewelry. Let's see, false nails can burn quickly. We're not going to be using a lot of flame in the lab. In fact, we're not going to really be doing any labs. Everything's going to be virtual, so I think we'll be okay on most of this stuff. Long hair tied back. Roll up long sleeves. All right, now let's go ahead and take a look at another short little piece of video here. We may not watch any part of this video. That's fine, we'll move on. All right, so what I wanted to show you on this was this lady comes in and she's going to do an experiment. She's wearing flip-flops, she's chewing gum, she has her goggles on her head, she has her hair down, she has jewelry that's dangling down. And so the idea was to show you this and say, what's wrong? Well, we already went over that. She has her goggles on her head, they're not on her eyes where they're supposed to be, her hair is not tied back. She has jewelry. She has a scarf on that's hanging down. She has flip-flops and shorts. So a lot of things wrong with her. All right, let's move on. Safety symbols. There are different types of safety symbols that you could possibly see within the lab. Here are some symbols and their meanings as well. A lot of these are intuitive. A lot of these things, when you look at it, you know exactly what you're dealing with. Using goggles right here. Poison, skull and crossbones usually tells you that you're dealing with some type of a poison. Radioactive safety. So a lot of symbols, they try to make them where anybody could look at it and understand exactly what they're saying. So if you wanted to look at this more, you could look at the symbols, and then you can look at what each one of those symbols mean. Okay. And finally, there is a science safety recap that goes over all of this again. So safety is really easy. Just do what's asked of you. Make sure you pay attention and follow all the rules. But if you want to look at more of that, you can follow this link here, and that will give you, I think it's a 10-minute video on more safety. So that's available to you if you would like to go over that. If you have any questions, ask your teacher. And that's it. Have a good rest of your day.